Halloween night in New York. The air was cold, the streets glowed orange with light, and laughter floated like smoke between the skyscrapers. Every corner of the city seemed alive, costumes, camera flashes, and echoes of joy. But inside one hotel, the Plaza, where stars gathered every year for Heidi Klum's legendary Halloween party, but something would happen that no one could ever explain. A mystery that began with beauty and ended in silence. The ballroom shimmered in gold. Chandeliers dripped like crystal rain, fog rolled across the floor, and a jazz band played softly near the stage. Reporters, designers, models, everyone who was anyone, was there. And at the center of it all, Heidi Klum, in her breathtaking costume, a masterpiece of art and illusion. She called it the living statue, stone vines curling around her body, golden veins glimmering under the light. It wasn't just a costume, it was alive, breathing with every move. But behind the spotlight, there were people who made that illusion possible: assistants, tailors, artists. Among them was Ava Morgan, 27 years old, costume assistant and quiet dreamer. Ava loved what she did. She believed every stitch had meaning, every fabric ha. That night wasn't supposed to include her. She was only meant to help backstage, but her supervisor smiled and said, "You've worked too hard to hide behind the curtain. Go enjoy the magic." So she did. She wore a simple silver mask and a black silk dress. No one recognized her as staff, she blended in among the stars. She took small videos, smiling as she watched her creations dance on the floor. Her phone trembled in her hand, the camera lens catching flashes of gold, laughter, and faces she had only seen in magazines. For once, she didn't feel invisible. She felt seen. At 10:37 p.m., the music shifted. Guests were gathered for the best costume announcement. Heidi stood on stage, glowing under the spotlight. Ava stayed by the back corner, near the hallway that led to the costume storage room. It was her comfort zone, quiet, away from the noise. That was when her phone buzzed. A text from Elias, the costume designer she worked with. "Need you in storage room. Something wrong with the vine headpiece. Quick." She smiled. Maybe it was urgent, maybe it was nothing. But Ava always took her work seriously. She slipped away quietly. No one saw her leave. The hallway behind the ballroom was narrow and dim. Only the hum of the lights filled the silence. She opened the storage door. And for a moment, it was just peaceful. Mannequins lined the walls like frozen ghosts, draped in elaborate costumes. A single light flickered above. Ava whispered softly to herself, "Okay, Elias, where's the broken piece?" But no one answered. She waited, looked around, nothing. Her reflection in a tall mirror caught her eye. For a moment, it looked like something behind her moved. She turned quickly. Nothing. Just fabric swaying slightly, maybe from the air vent. She pulled out her phone to text him back. "I'm here. Where are you?" No reply. The typing dots appeared, then vanished. The overhead light flickered again, longer this time. And she heard a soft footstep. Then another. Slow. Behind one of the racks. "Hello?" She stepped forward. The light snapped off, complete darkness. Her phone light turned on by reflex, trembling in her hand. Through the glow, she saw something metallic on the floor. Heidi's vine headpiece. She picked it up. And then, a shadow moved behind the racks. Ava's breathing grew fast. She whispered, "Who's there?" No answer. Just the hum of the air conditioner, and the faint whisper of fabric brushing the ground. She backed away toward the door. Her phone buzzed again. "Don't go. She froze. The message wasn't from Elias this time. It came from her own number. Her hand shook. And before she could react, the phone fell from her grip and cracked against the floor. The last thing its camera caught was the edge of a silver mask reflected in the mirror, not hers. Back in the ballroom, guests cheered as Heidi won Best Costume. The band resumed, the lights brightened. No one noticed that Ava never returned. By midnight, the party was over. Staff cleaned up. Guests said goodbye. A janitor, named Miguel, was the last to leave the ballroom hallway. He turned off the lights and noticed something odd. The storage room light was still on. He peeked through the crack. The room was empty. Except for one thing. A phone, glowing faintly on the floor. With a message still on screen. "There's someone in here." The next morning, police tape sealed the hallway. No signs of struggle. No fingerprints but hers. The headpiece lay neatly beside the phone. Security footage was pulled. At exactly 11:07 p.m., Ava was seen entering the storage room. At 11:08, the screen glitched, and when it cleared, the doorway was empty. She never came. The news spread like wildfire. Headlines read: "Woman disappears at Halloween gala, cameras glitched during incident." Some said it was a hoax. Others called it a curse. But for those who knew Ava, she was kind, careful, and full of life. And that was exactly why her disappearance made no sense. Days passed. Reporters camped outside the plaza. Police questioned everyone, from the janitors to the guests in gold masks. But no one remembered seeing Ava after 10:45 p.m. Her parents arrived from out of state, pleading for answers. All they got was a police report and a broken phone bagged in plastic. On that phone was a final note typed but never sent. "I think someone's wearing my mask." When detectives reviewed the security feed frame by frame, a faint figure appeared in the mirror behind Ava. It was blurred but there. A person standing still while she moved. The moment the light flickered, the figure blinked out. At 11:12 p.m., a masked person matching Ava's height walked out the back exit. The movement was off, like the steps were too measured, too rehearsed. The face was covered, but when the frame brightened for a second, the mask glinted silver. Her mask. Detective Ward. Either she left alone or someone wanted us to believe she did. Heidi Klum was devastated. She offered to pause the show next year in Ava's memory, but Ava's parents asked her not to. They said Ava loved costumes too much for the lights to stay off. The case went cold. Then a guest named Lena posted a photo from that night on social media. It showed Heidi posing for a journalist. And behind her, barely visible through fog, a dark shape stood in the corner, watching. Zoom in. There was a hand resting on Ava's shoulder. Forensic analysis proved the image hadn't been edited. The only problem? Ava wasn't supposed to be in that photo. Detectives searched the storage room again. One trunk had a broken lock. Inside was a half-sewn mask made of silver thread and an old invitation from years ago signed Eleanor V. Eleanor Voss, a costume designer who died in a studio fire in 2012. Ava had researched her for inspiration. And on her desk at home, in her journal, she had written one sentence. Eleanor deserved to finish her final costume. The theory was strange but haunting, that Ava tried to recreate Eleanor's last design and brought something back with it. Her friends didn't believe in ghosts. But they all remembered Ava's words the week before the party. If a costume is made with enough love, it can carry a soul. Months later, the hotel's night guard reported something odd. Every night at 11:08 p.m., the motion sensor in the storage hall lit up. When they checked the footage, no one was there, only a shadow shaped like a woman walking between the costume racks. The sound recording picked up a soft hum, the same melody Ava used to hum while sewing. A year passed. Heidi Klum held the next Halloween gala in Ava's memory. She wore a replica of Ava's unfinished design, gold vines, stone texture, silver lace. When the lights dimmed for her entrance, the room was silent. Then something happened. The mirrors around the stage reflected her walk, but in one mirror, her reflection smiled a second too late. When the lights brightened, the reflection matched again. Everyone laughed nervously, thinking it was just the light. But in the recorded footage later, editors noticed something else. A second figure standing just behind her reflection, its hand resting lightly on her shoulder. The case was quietly reopened. Nothing new was found. But to this day, workers say if you walk past the costume storage at the plaza around 11 p.m., you'll hear soft stitching, needle through fabric, slow and steady. They call her the seamstress of the shadows. Maybe Ava didn't vanish. Maybe she simply became part of what she loved, the art, the fabric, the illusion. Sometimes the things we create don't just carry our dreams. They carry pieces of us. And when you look too closely into beauty, you might see something staring back. No crime scene. No suspect. Just a mystery stitched between threads of gold and silence. This is the story of the costume that hid a secret. If you felt the chills tonight, don't leave just yet. There are more untold mysteries waiting for you here on Twisted Crime TV. Click subscribe, stay with us, and let's unravel the truth behind the world's softest crimes and quietest secrets.